All right, so what we're going to do, we're actually going to go onto the internet, and we're going to look for a design. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do corporate logos. One of the most popular ones you'll have to do. Okay, so like this, let's see, let's go to images. And we'll choose something like, let me see, this is albatross. All right, let's go and bring that in. So we go to my catalogs, and we'll go to folders. We'll put it on the desktop. Too early in the morning to get an access violation. Let's go to desktop, and we'll bring that image in. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is now I can actually use this graphic in order to make the design. Okay. You can see the marbling effect of the black. It's not very clean. It's a low resolution image. But you have tools in here like layout. And I reduce this color to, let's see, let's go to about 8. We'll filter it out. And of course, we're losing all those separations in the. So move it up to about 10. Because we're losing all the colors in the for the blue here. Let's go a little higher. Still, every time you filter, you want to look at the after. Now we're starting to get the definition in the wings. So what I'm doing is to stick with that one there. Okay, so what I have here, that helps us clean up our black pretty well here, but we still won't be able to use this to actually create. So oftentimes what we'll have to do is figure out what font this albatross is. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I will go to the internet. And the first thing I'll do is search the internet. I'll type the name of the company. And I'll type in font. And there it is. Let's see what it is. Sometimes you can actually get the name of the font right from the website there. Let's see. This is the design. This is what it was created by. This is the one I would want right here. Let me see if I can actually find out what font that is. Beautiful modern logo types, down graph design. So sometimes reading the blogs, you can actually find what font it is. The logo, I've done it. A year later, it's system. Information albatross brand, and that sort of thing. So what I would do at this point here is actually I would cheat a little bit, and every Windows has a snipping tool. Okay, this is a great tool. What I want to do is I want to capture this and save this, just in case I can't find the font. This is a nice clean image, and I can use it. I can make all these sections blue, no matter what. And I have a nice blackened image there, so I'm going to save this just in case. So I'm going to save it to capture. And then let's see if we can find out what the name of this font is. Font identification is very crucial in order to match up exactly what you're doing, how you're creating this. Let's go to here and let's see what this says. So this is basically just a company that's called Font. Let's see, La Compagnie, the company, Corporation Font, Font Technology, Corporation Font. Let's see what this is. Same company. They got 3 different parts of the website there. So it's not really giving us much information about the font. So you can use a website like Font ID. font identifier. What the font? Okay, my font's with the font. Seen a font in use and you want to know what it is. What it will do, you can actually upload the image file here, which is pretty cool. And I'm just going to need a clean image. Okay, that's the only thing. You've got to have a nice clean image. Okay, it's PNG. Okay, and I'm going to hit continue. So it read my font, and it's seeing it's going through it, trying to figure out what the name. It's defining each part. I'm going to continue. Oh, I got to tell it what it is. Oh, this here is a P. You got to fill in all these parts. All right, so here it brought up what it thought it is. Let me just go back a page. And let's go to, let's see, anything that's not listed here, you want to put in what it's supposed to be. This here is a C, capital C, capital O. This here is lowercase r. Let me see, that's capital A. I just want to check it out. This is, see, it's not an I, this is an L. Okay, it needs to be a lowercase L. All right, let's go down further. This one here is a capital R, capital P. This is a lowercase O. Let's make sure this is a capital O. This here is a capital R, A, C. This is a lowercase s. This here is an I. This here is an O, and that there is a capital N. Let's see what it comes up with now. And oftentimes it comes up with what it may be, okay? These are the possibilities that it thinks it could be. What you got to do, not a good match, you could actually consult an expert. Sometimes it'll find it. Now, the times when this does not find it is when the text was actually designed by somebody that was hired by the company. It was a custom-made text or a custom-made font. One good one with that is Coldwell Banker. Coldwell Banker actually hired a graphic artist to create their own logo, and he created their font. Okay, so in situations like this where you can't really find it, there are other font identification tools that you have. Font identifier, font squirrel. Let's look at that one here. Let's upload our image. And we'll do the same thing. Highlight the text that you want. So in here, we'll just, so I'm just going to highlight this. This is the one we need. Okay? Corporation is basically just an Arial font. We know that. This is a graphic. We don't need that one. So we go maturate it. Tips: if there are multiple font styles, extraneous shapes, and images, please crop. Okay, so we're good here. So here are the possible matches. It gives you a little preview here. What we're looking for is like the S. You see how the S is not a complete S. It's actually truncated right here, as well as the A and the T, and the A cross section the A. So we're looking for those styles in the fonts that it lists here. Now I use these websites quite often. You'd be surprised. There's some that we won't even find this font here. And I don't think we're going to find it because it's probably custom made by the company, okay? So this is two websites that we went to that we couldn't find it. And usually right from here is when I'm looking for a better image of it so I can use the image. This is Font Spring here. And then we upload the image. There's a lot of tools on the internet these days to help you find the font you're looking for. Simply going through dafont.com is not smart to do. I mean, you could spend hours in that software. Now this looks like it's going to be the same kind of thing here. but we'll see. So here's the possibilities. I think it's the same place, but we'll see. Well, now we got some similarities here with this one, but this is an open type feature. This is not a TrueType font, okay? So we wouldn't even be able to use it, even as close as it is. So right away, I'm looking at the S and the T and the A. So I can just negate several of these fonts. Okay. Looks like the closest one I got is going to be this one here, but it's not the same. So in situations like this, we'll have to use the font that we have to create it. And then I would be forced to look for a font that is close, is the most cleanest image that I have. And this one here is going to be, it's only 2 colors, even though we need blues and all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and go to layout, and I'll clean up my image by using color reduction. 2 colors, black and white. And there we go. So now we can size the image. I want this to be, let's go with a 4-inch left chest image. And now we can use our regular tools for embroidery. We use turning area, and I'll choose the color black. Set my underlay. Set my pull compensation. It's about 15. That's good. And then we'll just use our autocomplete. Actually highlight that A and convert it to stitches, the L. I'll hold my control button, select all the remaining text here. And there we go. So turn off my image, turn on the Smart Design. There we go. So you can see we can actually create that, or we can use regular manual methods to create the artwork. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and choose another one. Let's go ahead, and that was a little bit fun. Let's see if we can find something a little bit easier. Let's go to here. And by the way, you will gravitate towards a certain font identification. The last one, the font spring really works good for me too. I really like that one. It came up with the best choices. It gave me more choices to choose from in how many fonts it thought it was possible it matched. So let's go ahead and corporate logos again. We'll go to images. We'll do another one here. Let's go to, let's see, partner. See, you can find it. I know where that. I mean, a lot of these you'll have no problem with, but what you're trying to do is find something like this. So I'll go save image as. I'll save it to the desktop. All right. 8 logo. Okay. So the first thing I do when I find a logo, I go to 8 logo font style. Okay. See if anybody has tried to create this before and has wanted and put the information up on the website that I can actually find out which ones, what font it may be. Right, so it's Tanya Helvetica has done that, Bodini. So let's see. We're looking for the type of font it is. Sometimes you get lucky. Avenir. Okay, so sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. So we're looking for so pieces of 8 font. Let's see what this is. Nope, that's not it. And we're hoping to see, let's see, number 8 logo formed by ColDesi. Let's see, font style. And that's not it. All right, so it's not on there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go back into here, and we will go to, we'll go back a page, and then we'll choose our image and see if it finds it. Where did I save it? Where did I save it? Where did I save it? not seeing it because it needs to be. Ah, there it is right there. And then what we'll do, we'll select only the font, because that's what we're trying to figure out, what is what. And I always bring it in as far as I can, just to make sure there's no other, because it is JPEG or PNG, there might be other colors in there. So I want to make sure it sees everything it needs to see. So logo is going to be the same thing as 8, so I'm not too worried about it not choosing the word 8. Now it's choosing it. Okay, so now I can go to maturate it. Let's see what it comes up with. And the difference is the sharp corners of the G. Okay, and we're looking at the H, looking at the E. The E's got to be rounded, almost like a C. And that's how that, that's how that. Let's see, the closest one we got is not even that one. Closest one I got is this one here. See, it picked the G and the T as matches. On this one here, it saw the E kind of, but not. It's probably the I. I can't find the E. Sometimes what you can do is this, okay? Just choose, if you're having a hard time trying to, when it's selecting the whole font, just choose one letter. And hopefully you'll actually have a little bit better luck finding that one letter that it's hard to find. Now, we know we can find the G and the L and all those other ones, okay? But let's just go ahead and narrow this down to just the E. Let's see if we can match up the E for me. Looks like it found one. And what I'll do, it's seeing it as a shape. So we're telling it this is a capital E. And see what it does, it comes up with some ideas here. And I'll look at it, the G looks pretty good. All right, and the H looks right. I think this would be it. So I'm gonna click on this one here. It's going to open up the font page. It's called Public. I'm sorry, no, it's not. It's actually Snaggly. And what we do is once we're on the website, let's see if we can find out which one it would be. Not that one. That's not it. Hold on. I think I selected the wrong font. Let's see. So I'm saying it's, but clearly isn't that. Let's see. So I think this one here is basically just a shape. Because nothing really here matches exactly what we're looking for. So again, we found another font that needs to be created. But I think some of these tools will actually help you find the fonts that you're not sure about, especially script fonts, okay? Let's just go back a page. There we go. So, all right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go into, let's see, sometimes I do like a calligraphy font. And I'll look for images, okay? So I'm looking to add new fonts to my library of fonts. And I'll go to images, and I'll look for fonts that really look good, that I really like to add to my repertoire of fonts in my software. This one here is pretty ornate. What I'll do is I'll choose this, save it, okay? And we know it's Kavana Design. Wait a minute, let me just say this. It's champagne. It's a champagne font. So what I'll do is I'll go to View, Visit Page, and here it is right here. So now I'm going to find the font. See, a lot of these fonts are really nice. Arizona, that's a cool one to use. That one's nice, and I'm looking for champagne. There it is right there. So this is called Blackjack, okay? And let's go ahead and click on it. A lot of these places will want you to pay for the download, but it's an open type font, so we can't use it. So what I need to do is try to find Blackjack as a TrueType font, okay? So highlight the font style, and up in your search engine, type in Blackjack. TrueType font. And it looks like it's on thefont.com. That's not even, is that the same? Yeah, that's it right there. So this here's a TrueType font. You can see it's right there, TrueType font. Now let me just go back and test it. Let me just go back and see if it truly is. Let's go. So I'm looking at the B, the capital B. Yeah, it is the same, okay? So what I can do is go back to my DA font, and then this on the DA font is a free download, so we can download that font. Once it's downloaded, we can go into Show in Folder, and then you want to extract it all, because it's going to be a zip folder. To install this font so you can use it in Sierra, is find the font, which is a TrueType font folder, double click on it and click on the install. It's probably going to ask me for privilege rights to do it. I think it's going to do it anyway. It's waiting for it to install. Any questions so far? None at all? No questions at all? All right. I think that's probably installed. Let me see. It's called Blackjack, so we're going to go back into our Sierra software. And the first place I'll look is going to be artwork and text. And we'll look for Blackjack. And there it is right there. Okay? Only TrueType fonts can be used. Okay? All right, so moving on. That's how I usually identify what kind of font I need and what kind of font is in a different graphic. Okay, several different tools there. Just go to Font ID in your Google search and start hitting those web pages. There's a whole bunch more. Okay, there's another website called Identifont, which will ask you several questions about the font you're looking for. Is it a serif font? Is it a bold font? Is it look handwritten? And you have to answer these questions when you get done. Based upon your questions and your answers to the questions, it'll display all the possible fonts that you may be needing. But there's some, like I said, and if I couldn't find this font that I was searching for on the internet, okay, let's go back where we first started. Let's go back here. Then I could save the image and bring the image up into one of those websites, you know, that identifies fonts, and see if I can find it that way. So there's several different easy methods of which you can actually find the style of font that you're looking for. Okay, this one here is just one of those ones. Now, this one here, it did not find that P is not the same as I saw from the blackjack. It's not the same P. So let's go. Let's see. Let's go to because this is a cash champagne. So that's the same thing. Just go down, find a cash champagne. Let's blend. I just stopped in the middle of searching for it, and there it is right there. So what we want to do, this one here is we're going to go to CAC champagne, copy. And I'm going to paste it. TrueType font. And Font Squirrel has it. Download, this is a free download. Let's go to here. There it is right there. So I can click on I'm not a robot. Okay, and I got to answer these questions. Select all the squares with street signs. Okay, if there are none, click skip. Okay, this is a street sign. This has a street sign. This square has a street sign. There's a street sign. Next, you got to answer so it knows you're not a robot. And one more. Speed limit 45. And that should do it. Okay, so we're going to download it. CAC Champagne. So I'm going to right click on this, show in folder, and double click on it, install. Now, once you've installed the font, you can delete the fonts from your download, okay? You don't need to hold on to them anymore. They're already installed, you don't need them anymore. So I could just delete all these fonts I've downloaded before. Once they're installed, they're installed. Just, you gotta make sure that they're TrueType fonts, though, because OTF font, we get calls all the time. I download a font, but I won't open, I can't see it in Sierra. And the reason why is because of an OTF. So you always want to look and see if it's a TrueType font or an OTF, okay? Okay. Now, what can I do with those TrueType fonts now that I downloaded it? We get a lot of calls on this one instance where the customer has a font that's actually a TrueType font, and they need to arch it. And let's see. And they need multiple colors, different colors for each font, for each letter. A couple things you can do. In embroidery, the only way you can arch text is actually using the embroidery tab and using the lettering program. Because in the lettering program, let me just go back. Okay. In the lettering program, you have the arrange feature, which allows you to arch. Okay. So, here's all my TrueType fonts. So let's just go ahead and go through and find. Let's go ahead and go down here and choose. Let's choose that champagne that I just downloaded and installed. Okay, brides made. Okay. Hit enter to bring it in. We're going to bold it. I always bold script fonts only because it gives me a little bit more width there. Okay. And you can see right away, it doesn't come in as a graphic. It actually comes in as embroidery. All right, let me just do something here. Let me just show, I want to show stitches, no marks. All right, so let's just make this a little, right now it's quarter inch, so I'm going to make it 1.5. Make it big so we can see it. Okay. Yeah, problem is, look at this. Look how it did this letter. It's a mess. And that's because it's the nature of how the font is organized. It's the direction lines here. This here is a command line. This needs to go across here. And then my stitch direction lines need to tell these stitches on how to go correctly. This should be a hole here, okay? And this should come out. A lot of times, the font, the TrueType font just doesn't know how to process. Like, look at all the stitch points here, and that's just because of these stitch direction marks are just not correct. And they're all going to this point right here. This here, I'm going to move down. Let me just release some nodes here, which don't make sense to have. There we go. Just too many nodes there. It didn't know how to process it. Now that cleaned up the image. You just got to zoom in real close to see why your font is coming out that way, and then fix the error. Like over here, you know, on this, how it dips down here, and that's just if I double click on this, your stitch direction lines are these yellows. Just reposition them to make this kind of curve around a little better. Okay. This one here needs to be here. This one here, I'm just going to move down a little bit. This is the correct angle for these stitches to turn, but just want a little bit more space between these direction line commands. And maybe we could put another one in. Go to stitch direction, I'm going to put one here, one across here. And there we go. So that kind of handles that a little better. And then over here, look at this B. What happened down here? So, you know, this is basically too many nodes. So I'm just going to delete this node. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one down and then just shape it better. There we go. That should take care of that. So you do have to maintenance your TrueType fonts a little bit. All right, and this looks pretty good so far. Let's look in here. Look what happened here. Okay, this again, this should not even be here. So when you see this hole here, just start deleting nodes. Click on the node, and then hit your delete button, and start deleting these things because it will actually make this a solid piece once all the nodes are gone. There's no reason for this hole to be here. One more. And this one. There we go. So now we got a solid line. So I'm just going to delete this node. Don't, you know, once you got it looking pretty good, okay. Yep. Then okay, so down here, little problem here. So let's go ahead and go here. Let's change the stitch direction. This one here is an error. These stitch direction lines will give you errors because these are commands for the direction for the stitches to go. If the command doesn't make sense because you have other stitches going in different directions, then you're going to get an error message, okay? It's not going to really look right, okay? So right here, this doesn't make sense, this right here. So I'm going to delete that, and it's going to clean that up, okay? But in order to delete that, I needed to get rid of the hole here that it thought it needed, like this right here. If I delete this one, it's going to probably delete the font completely. See, it deleted all the stitches because now it doesn't know how to do this middle section. So you're going to be careful on that. I'm just going to bring this, I'm going to reposition over here and see what it gives me. And that don't look good. So I'm going to keep it just like it is. It probably looks the best. Okay? And the rest of it is the stitch direction. Okay? Oop. Stay above the purple. And then I'll, you know, sometimes you may have to go to edit stitches and grab a stitch here. Edit stitching, Alan. Grab the stitch and pull it out. go. That looks a lot better right there. Okay, so be mindful that you have to really inspect your graphic. This again right here, you can see the dotted lines are your stitch direction lines. Kind of gives you a clue of how this is set up. So just move these stitch direction lines out of the way, okay, so they don't come to a pinpoint. When you have a bunch of stitch direction lines in any given area, you're going to have a lot of stitch commands there, and you want to move them aside a little bit. Keep the angle looks good on these stitch direction lines. We want this to start coming this way, like turning more easterly, west to east. This one here, see what it does? It takes all those needle entry points and just separates them out a little bit. Okay, same over here. So when I click on this, just double click to get the stitch direction lines and just move them away. Just manage them a little better, that's all. This is actually a twist of different. There we go. So zooming straight in, you can actually you start to see where the problems are with your fonts. Okay. Okay. That looks good. Okay. Any questions so far? We spent a lot of time on that, looking at the TrueType fonts and the problems that come up because of them. Okay. And do we have any questions yet? No questions. Everybody still with me? Okay. Moving straight along. Okay. Next thing I want to do with this, now that it's all created, now what I want to do is actually adjust my font spacing. So I'm going to lower this down a little bit. I want my fonts a little bit closer together. Okay. Maybe it's a little bit more. That looks good. Spacing between the words, I'm going to bring it close because we're going to arch this, okay? Go to 20. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to arch this, okay? One thing we can do with arch is see, customer wants this multiple colors, like they want bridesmaid, the top half to be one color, and the bottom half to be another color, okay? And this right here, this missing direction line, it's a stitch direction line that seems to be missing that it needs. Once you click on it, it shows you them all. And I could spend hours looking for this stupid thing. And let's move that one down. And it's probably just, I'm not sure where it's missing from. It seems like you're looking for an area that seems to have no stitch direction command. And looks like they all have it. Every curve area is where you're going to see them the most. I just ain't got time to look for that. But anyway, the customer wants this in several different colors, but they also want it arched. Okay, the only way you can do an arch is in the embroidery lettering. Okay, because that's where the arrange feature is. Okay. Normally, if I was doing artwork, I could bring in a graphic of a text, and then convert it, and then split it in half and make two colors, and then convert to embroidery. But I don't have this ability because I can't arch artwork text. Okay, so this becomes a problem. So what I usually do in this situation is I will create the font and make sure it's laid out correctly here. Okay, very important that all your editing, your placement of your letters, the spacing is all done correctly before we go on, and we're going to edit this so the top half is red, or maybe we'll do pink and the bottom half is purple. I've been to weddings before where it's pretty much going to a rock concert and the person just wants nothing but green M&Ms. Okay, that's what happens when you're a guitar tuner. All right, so there we go. So there's my font. I create my font. The next thing I want to do is to be able to split this in half. I need to convert this to a vector, okay? And what I'm going to do, in order to convert it to a vector, I don't know if I can do it here. Yeah, I can convert the whole thing to a vector here. I'm going to turn off the embroidery view, and there's my vector file. With the vector file, I can now edit it and then then convert it to stitches, okay? So what I did is I converted it to a vector. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my vectoring tools to actually split this up, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup. I'm going to click on the B, we're going to right click, and we're going to go split object. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to go straight across the middle, just like this. And now we have a top section, which is going to be our pink. And do I have a pink color in here? Right there. And the bottom section, which is going to be our purple. Let's bring that pink up to the top. There we go. We'll bring our purple up to space number 2 just so we can find it and click on it and convert it. This one here, I'm going to fix this. What I'm going to do is it's not enough to actually convert to any type of discernible stitches. So what I'll do is I'll highlight both this, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll combine these vectors and weld it using addition. And then we'll convert it back to pink. Okay, so it kind of made it a solid color again. Okay, that's what we want to do. All right, now we're going to click on the R, and we're going to right click. We're going to go split object, and about 50% up, and we're going to cut it on a bias because it's an arch. Okay, we want to make sure that we maintain the curvature of the style of the colors. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do the I. We're going to graduate. Now we're going to right click. And you see, split object is turned off, it's grayed out because it's still not ungrouped. The dot on the I needs to be ungrouped from it as well. Once we do that, then we can go ahead and click on just the bottom part, and split object comes up. And we're going to graduate up a little bit higher, always keeping our angle. So this is taking your TrueType font to the next level and manipulating it as a graphic. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to right click and split object. By the way, if you ever see that the split object is grayed out, just ungroup. Ungroup again as many times you have to. It's just there's probably the TrueType font was created in such a way that it just has many pieces to it, just like the way this actually. Look at all these nodes here. See, this is what causes problems when you convert to stitches. So I'm just going to delete a couple since I see them. Like it doesn't need a corner node right there. This come up here, and then this node here. See, nodes kind of manage shape. I don't need. This is a straight node. I don't need a straight node here. I need a curved node. All right, and because this is a curved shape right here. And what happens is the way that Sierra kind of takes the font and tries to understand it, it doesn't do a good job of calculating it. So what it does, it throws any old node in there. And when you have any old node in there and not the right nodes, and the nodes in the right place, okay, what will happen is you'll get those weird fill-ins of the E, and you'll have to edit those things. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to come down a little bit more because this is where it started off. The crest of the arch. So I'm also going to be mindful about how much area I have on the top versus the bottom. Okay, so 50% is what we want. So we're going to click on the S, right click, split object, and we'll go right through. I'm not worried about that top. Okay, and then we'll do this, purple. Now I'll just stop right there so we won't take too much time. But now we have a 2-color font. Now we can actually convert this to stitches. And because it's a vector file, I have the ability to select all these, just holding my control button and selecting all this. And then we'll go to Smart Design, and we'll go to Turning Area, and then we'll go to Object Manager, which is on your left side window. And in here, I could change the color. See, it's still selected, okay? What I just created is still selected, and I want to make sure it's the right color and all the settings are correct before I release it. And the color should not be color number 16, it should be color number 21. And it should be 5 stitches per millimeter. The underlay should be a centered underlay, which we got there. It looks good. And the pull compensation should be about, on this one here, yeah, about 15% looks good. Now, let's turn on the simulator mode, see what that looks like. That looks pretty good. And except for this E, see the E here is a little problem here. And that's just because of this. And this. But it looks a lot better than what we created before. That was easy. And this should not be a straight node. Change your node to a curve. Actually, I'm going to do a corner curve. And with that, grab the Bezier grip and shape it, just like that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now that we did all that, now we can click on the bottom, hold your control button, or you can select them all from the object manager over here. Just keep your control button in and select all the purple sections there. Once they're all selected, we can then go to Smart Design, convert it to stitches, go to our object manager while it's still selected, set the color to purple, and make, oops, don't use your wheel mouse until you deselect it. Make sure your density is right, which it is. Underlay is correct. Pull compensation is correct. Once you're done, you hit enter. And I don't like this. I'm really not happy with this at all. Let me try to change a node. Let's go with this. Not really happy with the way that E looks. On these type, when you have this type of problem, you may move these, but it's almost a losing battle. Chances are, what I would rather do is create it through old school methods, and to do that, you use column. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll choose my curve tool, set all my settings first, make sure my color is selected right. I'll use pink. And what we'll do, we'll just click here. And I'll do here, and I'll just follow this around, just tracing it out. Always keeping my nodes straight across from each other. I'm going right a little bit beyond the border of the E, because I'm adding my own pull compensation when I'm doing this. So I don't have to go in and make that settings correction, but you always want to keep your nodes directly across. So I'm actually telling it how to sew this. What I'm doing is it actually allows you to put your own stitch direction commands in there. This is what I'm doing. Nothing but stitch directions nodes. Straight across. And now let's start here. Straight across. Here. Right here. And then I'm going to overlap this a little bit with a corner node. And another corner node here. And then we're just going to spend a little bit more time to shape this out a little bit better. Bring this one in, bring this node in so it kind of matches up a little better. And that'll look a lot better. Probably the same thing on the O, and it looks like the D. This is a stitch direction. Needs a couple. This is probably where the stitch direction information was missing. That needs to be a corner node. There we go. Yeah, it looks like it's missing a stitch direction here. So I'm going to set this one just like there it is right there. All right, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to add a new one right here. Add another one here. So I really didn't like that one. And let me see why. This probably needs to be, let's just delete that guy. Spent a lot of time on TrueType. There we go. And this should be a corner. This should be a corner. Let's see how this looks. That looks a lot better. Just pull compensation on here is just a little bit too shallow. I'm just going to pop my node out a little bit so it matches up with the purple a little bit better. So there you go. But I think you get the idea. We took a single color font and then converted it to a vector so we actually can do some more editing of and get a different look out of it completely. Okay. By the way, you can do that in rhinestones as well. Okay. Any questions at all that you may have? Okay. Make sure, just a couple things. Make sure you're choosing the right font. You got the font ID information there. Making sure whenever you do fonts that are script style or handwritten style, you always bold the font when using the lettering feature. Okay. TrueType fonts also, you can actually, let's go ahead and delete those. Let's go ahead and do something with the artwork text. Okay. What can we do with artwork text? This is for all those rhinestone people out there. Okay, let's go ahead and go into, let's see, blackjack was cool, but let's use something really a little bit more bold and robust. Let's see. Let's use something like this. Let's, like this design style that kind of really looks cool. This time of year for class of 2017. So we go class. Okay, there we go. 2017. 2017. We'll do it for class of 2018. All right. Simple design look that you can do with TrueType fonts is using the font as a shape. Okay. Let's make this big. We're going to make this about 8 inches. Okay. And what we'll do, we'll ungroup. Always deselect before you ungroup, okay? So it doesn't go right back to the original size. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the word class of 2018 as my canvas. What does that mean? Well, let me show you. There we go. And this is for all you rhinestone people out there, okay? All right, so what we want to do is we now, let's see what the size of this is going to be. I want this for a full chest. I want this to be, okay, 9. Let's go about 9 inches. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay that with a heart, okay? We use a graphic in here. So let's go to catalogs, and I'm going to go, we can even use paw print. Let's use a paw print instead, okay? Because a lot of these teams use paw prints. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to vectorize. You definitely want to use a vector for this, okay? So let's go ahead and first thing to do in vectorization is always reduce your colors, okay? This image here, when we filter it, it's going to have a lot of different colors. All we're seeing discernibly is an orange and a white. You look at all the white it sees, all the different color white, okay? So I tell it to see only 2 colors. I'm hoping that it does filter it. All right, so it's converted to a vector now. So convert with a vector. Convert to vector. 2 colors. Filter. And you can use knights, you can use different teams, panthers, whatever. I'm just going to go over top of this. You'll see exactly what we're going to do here. Vector. No, I wanted, so it won't filter this in, okay? So let me choose a different paw print real quick, okay? Sorry, people. Let's go to paw print, black and white. We're just going to grab one of these images. That image had way too much information. So let's go with this one. Is a pretty common one. So we'll save this one. Save it to desktop. Let's go back into it. And let's, yeah, okay, so we got rid of that one. Let's go ahead and bring that one in. Not sure why that one was so bad. Okay, so what we're going to do, always reduce your colors. So we're going to go to Layout, Color Reduction. Want this in 2 colors. The paw print is going to probably be orange because maybe the team is orange, but we do need this to be a vector, okay? So deselect, reselect, and convert to vector, okay? Once we vectorize, now we have a good vector object here. What I'm going to do is rotate this. To rotate, hold your control button and grab any of the corners. I'm going to rotate this so it's like this, okay? A little bit on an angle. Then we're going to resize this. So it fits. Now this here, class of 2018 is going to go in a dark shirt, okay? And I want this to be holographic spangled, okay? So I'm going to highlight this, choose gray. This here is going to be pink. We can even do a purple. And I'm going to overlay this right over the word of class of 2018. I'm going to make it big so it kind of takes up a little bit of the size right there. And what we're going to do now is we're going to combine these objects so the paw print becomes part of class of 2018. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to highlight both objects here. Okay. And actually, I'm going to make the paw print just a little bit bigger. Okay. Just select it all. We need it to be just a little bit bigger. There we go. Now highlight. That's probably going to look pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to right-click on here, and on the combine vectors, use trim shapes. And what you want to do is get rid of these extra pieces here, like this here, inside the O. This piece here. All these pieces inside here, okay? And the A, got this, okay? We got this piece outside of the A right here. Let me see. Highlight, and you can see where it's divided right here. I'm going to click right here, get rid of that. Do the same thing here, get rid of all these little tiny pieces here. And there we go. So now we got the paw print. Let me just highlight again, see if we have any other parts that we got to delete. I think we got it all. And now what we can do is convert, okay? So what I'll do is I'll go to, I'm going to change the background color so we can see a little better. Okay. And let's go ahead and change this a little bit, make it a little bit taller. I don't have too much height on this. Plus you can see on the bottom here, we got this rounded edge. Always look a second and third time, just so you know you caught everything. I'll highlight everything here, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit. That gives me a little bit better. Now I'm going to go to hotfix. And by the way, you can do this in stitching too, okay? It'll look just as good. Let me go to hotfix catalog, and let's say we're going to do this in spangle. So I'll do spangle, and I'll go down to my standard round. I'm going to use a 2mm holographic silver, which is going to be 219. And we'll use 222. You want to use the same size when doing this kind of graphic, okay? So now what I want to do is I'm going to do all the silver first, okay? So in my object manager, I'm going to choose all the silver here. Actually, I'm going to choose all the purple because there's not many purple. And this is going to help me to be able to select all the parts. So I'm going to convert all these parts to spangle, okay? So I'm just going to go down and choose all the purple since there's less purple. Holding my control button and selecting, and I could right-click and group them, okay? And then I'll leave all the silver alone. There we go. So I'm going to choose all the silver now. Hold the Shift key, click on the last silver in the list. It's all going to be selected. Go to Smart Design and then convert to fill. Since it's all selected, you're always going to work out of your object manager. Set your separation to about maybe 3 when you have the spangle machine. Deselect. Now we're going to go up to the top again, and we're going to choose all the purple. So the first thing I'm going to do next is I'm going to choose my pink stones. Okay. Open up the vector pack 1. It's all my purple. I'm going to ungroup first. And then go to my Smart Design, convert to the purple or the pink, and set my bead spacing to the exact same that I did with the silver. All right, let's see what we got. Looks pretty good. So now what we want to do is we want to do our overlaps. Solve overlaps. Where color meets color, we are going to have overlaps, okay? Just solve those. We may have a couple spangle pieces we may need to put here and there. And that's just simple. Just click on, right click, insert a hotfix. Just put one here where it was just too close and it deleted it. And you have a pretty cool looking design built off of a TrueType font. Now, you could spend hours placing these. I always zoom out and see where I really need them. Like right here, I definitely need one there. So a little bit of work left to do. Maybe put this one here, move this one over, stuff like that, just repositioning. Maybe a couple in here just to fill it in a little bit better. We need a silver one up here. So go through your design. There you have it. Now, this one here is inconsequential, so we'll just change that to a pink. And then we'll just move a couple of the other ones around to make it look symmetrical. And some of these are basic because of the way that the nodes were actually shaping the design. So definitely you want to use, by the way, a lot of people run into problems because they're using a glide pad on their, instead of a mouse. Always use a mouse. Mouse is the right tool to use when doing intricate placement of spangle or rhinestones, because using a glide pad is very temperamental sometimes. You'll definitely want to use something better. And we got a couple more, but I think you get the idea. Okay, it's a simple design using the TrueType font as part of the graphic. Okay. Well, anybody have any questions? We're pretty much done. Okay, we got Leah. Got a question here. I unfortunately missed the beginning, most of the presentation. Can you please email me a copy of the video after? Yeah, tomorrow everybody will get an email thanking you for joining us in our Tech Talk. And if you like the video, please click here. So definitely on your registration, when you register, you'll actually get that email. How did you change the straight node to a curved node? Very simple. Oh, okay, never mind. I just saw you did it. Okay. All right, Leah. But anyway, everybody, it was great seeing you today. Let me see, Sharon, do you have a, okay, you had your hand up. I was wondering if you had a question. Okay. All right, well, that concludes this this Tech Talk. Join us next week, and we will actually, I'm not sure what we're talking about next week, but I got some studying to do to make sure I'm ready for it, apparently. But great seeing you guys. I hope you all have a great weekend, okay? And I'll talk to you later.